Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of the Disc Golf Answer. We're going to talk a little bit about fantasy disc golf, playing football in a football
this weird thing.
Playing disc golf in a football stadium.
Okay, that's different. Yeah.
And Robert McCall gets 3 over 1,000 rated rounds.
Dang. Hey, cool, man.
Hey, Bob. Hey, Bob.
Oh, hey, Bobby.
We are on it today.
Who am I talking to? Oh, this is Bobby Cool, Daddy Slick Breeze, and we have McCall.
Yeah.
1,000 Robert.
Yeah.
Said your name backwards.
Nice.
Robert 1,000 McCall.
If you're new to the show, my name is Robert McCall.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could have caught that.
I am
Some of those words.
way off.
It's okay, man.
And then Eric McCabe is not feeling so well, so we have Anthony Standen Van Hoezel.
Standen? Is that my middle name?
Standing in.
Stand in.
If you're new to the show, this is Anthony Vanden Heuvel. Yeah.
Anthony Vanden Heuvel. So anyway, how's everybody doing?
All right. I feel a little under the weather. Not perfect, but it's all right.
Yes, if McCall's voice sounds a little, what were we saying earlier, burly?
A little extra bassy.
Yeah, that's because he himself is not feeling so well. Or at least, are you in the middle? You're in the down?
I feel like I'm on the outswing. Like I'm mostly past it, but it's still just lingering a little bit.
I got you. Cool. And Anthony's taking a quick break from editing some coverage from the winter warm up.
Yeah,
he's been working on some tournament coverage all the way from hole 1 to hole 18 on the final round. It's going to have in it Robert. No, you weren't on it. Sorry.
No.
Wrong tournament.
Rip. Got him.
It's going to have Eric.
Thanks for reminding me, you butthead.
Yeah, we didn't film. What was it? The third card?
Yeah. How far could you have been toward the bottom without being on the very last card? Yeah. I think I was on that card.
We're going to have Eric Oakley, Miles Seaborn, Bradley Williams, Coda Hatfield, and
Joshua Castillo.
Joshua Castillo. He's local to Texas, right? He's not.
I think so. I'd never seen him before. I'd never seen him play.
Yeah, so
he played well. Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Turns out, if you shoot the hot round at a tournament that like Bradley and Coda and Miles and all them are at, you've got some.
You're good.
Yeah,
you're good.
Anthony throughout the week has been showing me a couple of clips from it, some really nice putts and stuff like that. So I think it's going to be some good coverage. So that'll be on the Dynamic Disc YouTube channel. Super excited about that. Before we talk about Robert's performance this past weekend, one other thing I want to make sure we talk about is fantasy disc golf.
Yeah,
Johnny V from Smashbox has been working very hard on getting this website, improving it this will be the 3rd year, I believe, maybe the 3rd or 4th. That he's done fantasy disc golf, made some changes, made some major improvements. Super excited about that. So go to skipace.com, SKIPACE.com. Get yourself registered. If you previously registered, my understanding is you'll have to register again because of all the improvements. And you can sign in now via Twitter, Facebook, and I think Google+.
That sounds right.
Yeah. And, or just your email address, whatever you prefer. But get yourself signed up. Go to Join League. That's going to be on the menu. You'll see League, and then click on it, Join League. Put in the code DGAM to join the Disc Golf Answer Man League. We've already started the giveaways with that because I announced it on our Facebook group, and I said the first 100 people to get signed up will be eligible for our first giveaway. So
Did I win it?
No, you did not win it. So
one of these times.
That's already full, so you can't get in on that. But
the league is still open, just the giveaway.
Just the giveaway. But the league is still open, and also to get it kicked off good, we're going to give away something for the Las Vegas Challenge.
Nice.
So get yourself in there, and we will do it for this one. Whoever gets the most points, we will give something away. Yeah. If there's a tie for first, we will just randomly select somebody.
Between the people that tied for first?
Tied for first.
Gotcha. So something really scientific like eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Pretty much.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
So we'll figure it out, but we want to give away points. We're going to do that throughout not every event will we give stuff away, but we're going to have some fun with it. And it's going to become part of our talks on our survey and polls episodes.
Nice.
We're not going to it's not going to be anything in depth or anything like that, but we'll talk about the play and, us having probably watched the coverage. If there's coverage, we'll talk about it a little bit and stuff like that. So I'm excited. Yeah. Johnny V put a lot of work into this. And guys, if you want to show your appreciation for this, because, go to Smashbox Patreon and you just go to the site Patreon, look for Smashbox TV, and be a donor. Donate to that. That way, to show your appreciation. I myself am going to go in there and figure out how to do that so that I can show my appreciation because, we're kind of riding the backs of Johnny V's work.
I'm a patron of their show.
Are you good? Yeah. So I'm going to be a patron of their show to kind of show my appreciation. And I highly encourage everybody else to do that as well, whether it's $1 episode, $2, $5, whatever, just to kind of show your appreciation for all that they do to bring the coverage and have this fantasy disc golf fun.
Yeah.
Cool.
Those are great guys. And yeah, I think as far as a lot of that goes, they pioneered a lot of it. And I mean, they weren't the first ones, but they certainly got it going a lot.
And I know he puts a lot of work into it too.
Heck yeah.
So
good dudes. And Terry Miller got an A-tier win this weekend in Masters.
No.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
That would have been funny if you just ended
it. Was awesome.
Good dudes and Terry Miller.
And also there's Terry Miller in there. He's was
there 3 people in the group?
There was actually 4, but I wasn't going to bring that up. But hey, A-tier win is an A-tier win.
No, congratulations to Mr. Terry Miller.
Yeah, man.
Good stuff there. T-Dog. All right, well, we'll talk about your performance there because let's go ahead and get a couple questions in before we go. Remember, guys, as always, you can go to discgolfansman.com, submit that disc golf question. I sort of have turned off the Facebook Messenger link.
She's a little crazy.
It's a little crazy.
Yeah.
Because some of you are sending me novels. You're sending in like your complete disc golf history, and then you want us to fix one small thing. I'm being sarcastic, but I think it's a little too much. So we still have SpeakPipe open. We still have the Google form open that will allow you to submit questions. But the Facebook Messenger, we're not going to quite use that as questions. We might bounce back and forth from there, but it's not going to be the main place that we go questions. I was trying something new. If you guys follow us, you know that I experiment a lot with different things. I experimented with it, and it didn't work.
All right.
Didn't work like I wanted it to. So
back to the old mainstays.
So, all right. So this first question is, we'll go to SpeakPipe, and this is from Philip.
Hey, disc golf answer men. Yeah, you're men.
Yeah, just to clarify, if you've ever watched any of our videos we put out, you will clearly see that we are men.
Quite manly.
Yes.
Eric, Robert, anybody else that's in the studio, Bobby.
Thanks.
Face.
So I've been playing disc golf for about 6 years. I'm terrible. Terrible. Finish in the bottom of wreck most days, and anything I play. I get out there and I have fun. That's important. But I'm always looking to get better.
Whoa.
So out in the field tonight, just before the sun went down, spending some time with some new discs and learning what they do. And just kind of messing around, I ended up throwing them on a hard Anhyzer line. And it would do something that I've never been able to replicate, and that is throw that flight that you see on a disc golf flight chart where it's got that turn and then it's coming back. I was throwing a Convict and a Fortress. Little bit of turn, coming back in, ultimately producing a fairly straight or finish to the well, for you guys, it would be the left. I'm a left-handed guy, so it was finishing to the right for me, just a tad. But it just the flight pattern looked exactly like what would be drawn up for, one of these disc golf flight charts. And as I began to throw it, I was doing it consistently. I was getting more distance than I usually get out of discs. So my question, I guess, is there something wrong with doing that? I mean, like I say, I'm not getting anywhere doing things the normal way, and I'm always looking to pick up tips and trying to throw like this guy and trying to throw like Eric and trying to throw like EMAC, and just that's not working for me. But when I tried to throw these very hard Anhyzer lines with an overstable disc, it would turn and then flip up and fade back and give me a good finish. Is there something wrong with that? I'm never going to be a pro, and I know that's not going to happen. But is there something wrong with driving off the box or driving through that to get some distance and some consistency? I feel like that's what I want to create.
Yeah, I was wondering if it was going to. Yeah, there's
what is it? 90 seconds?
Yeah, there's a time limit. Okay, hold on. Don't say anything. Okay, cover your ears. Okay. Now here's the question.
And continue.
Okay, so after the 90-second limit.
Right.
Now, okay, well, I think we have a pretty good grasp of what he's trying to ask. And Philip is asking if we... Is it bad to force over a disc if that's what gets you the added distance? And I think the answer is no. Whatever works for you works for you. There are some people who throw best throwing off of a hyzer angle because that's their most consistent release point. There are some people who are great throwing from just a flat angle. Some people great throwing from an Anhyzer. And so I think it's good to have all shot shapes in your bag. But if you're just trying to get one that will help you out and this is making you a little bit more consistent, go for it, man. I say throw that all day.
Is it fair to say, though, that if you decide to do something that's kind of out of the norm, then that means like if someone gives you advice on a disc, it's not going to do the same thing for them because you're throwing it slightly different. Just like I know Eric says that sometimes he throws everything with a slight hyzer because he knows the disc. He knows what that disc is going to do, which is going to flatten up for him a little bit. So I guess if you're going to decide to do that, just know that in your head that if someone describes the flight of a disc, if you're watching a video or something like that, it may be slightly different from you, right? Because your release is a little different. Yeah. Well, and if he said one of the discs that he's throwing like that is a convict, and the convict has some stability, no doubt, but it's intended to be relatively neutral. And so if he's starting that on an extreme Anhyzer, it's likely that that Philip's arm speed and spin isn't super duper high. And so most discs, they'll fly a little bit differently definitely a lot differently than something like Eric would say. If you do go to our YouTube page and check out, is this disc right for you? You can see Bobby throwing those on most of the time a little bit of a hyzer line or a flat line. And that might give you an idea if you do force it over kind of what that might look like. Next one is from Moonshine Deputy. Nice. So some of the discs are calling in, getting for questions and stuff. Talking back. They've grown so much in popularity that people are naming their children that now. Yeah, I don't know if you guys knew that. I figured it was the discs. The discs themselves. The actual disc. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's more feasible. Like up the line is Biofusion Trespass. Okay, cool. Here's the Moonshine Deputy.
Hey, Bobby, Eric, and Robert. I just want to start off by thanking you guys for everything you've done for the disc golf community. I know you three alone have done so much to grow the sport and strengthen our community. And I know you get thanked and appreciated all the time. I just want to make sure that I'm one of those people and you guys know that you are appreciated. But my question this week is I'm running my first tournament in May as part of the Women's Global event. And I'm a little nervous, but I'm very excited. I'm just wondering if you guys have any advice, anything, first-time TDs forget or wish they would have done differently. I have a pretty small entry fee for the event, trying to grow the sport. So thank you for taking the time to listen to my question and keep it real. Awesome.
Cool. If I had to pick a voice for a Moonshine Deputy,
that's a pretty solid one.
That was probably it.
Yeah, that's fantastic. What do you think? What's a first-time tournament director? Good advice.
I've never directed a tournament, so coming at it from the player standpoint, my biggest thing is just have fun.
Yep.
Make sure people are having fun. Obviously, there's not a whole lot you can do if somebody's shooting bad and they're not having fun because of it.
Sorry, bro.
So everyone's got to play the course. But, that's kind of tough.
Yeah.
I would say, think of tournaments you've been to in the past. Think of what they did. And before the event, talk to someone that that's run tournaments and say, hey, obviously that's kind of what they're doing. I just haven't run tournaments.
That's all good.
Just try and get some advice from people that have done it.
Yeah, no doubt. You have something? Go ahead.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've never specifically ran one, but at the beginning of my disc golf media career, I drove around with Adam Searle, Jeremy Rushko, Clay Hyzer when we went to tournaments and stuff like that, and I observed. And I would say, as a checklist, there's certain things that you just have to know that you got to do. Is you got to have water.
Yep.
Even if it's in a place where it's not that. I'm not talking about water just in case it's hot. Any water, because even though the temperature might not be hot or warm, your body's still using water, and you don't want anybody to not have enough water in their system. So plenty of water if you can have that.
Yeah, it was below freezing at both of these tournaments at some point in both.
Yeah.
And they still had jugs all over the course.
Yeah, because your body still needs water,
Super
even though it's
important.
not hot out there. You just need more water probably when it's hot out. The other big thing that I noticed that would always is no matter how many times you say something about the tournament,
Right.
whether you announce it at the players meeting, whether you've posted it 12 times on an event group that maybe you have on Facebook, or 5 people have asked you that, you're still going to get the same questions. Someone's not going to listen. Someone just may have happened to not see it. So you just got to be kind of patient, and just got to know that just because you say it once doesn't mean that all the information is out there. So make sure that you just be patient with people. They're going to ask you some of the same questions, and don't be afraid to repeat yourself in different places. Put it on an event group, put it in the flyer. Make the announcement at the players meeting, things like that. The other big thing is, depending, did she say, was it a 1 day or 2 day? I can't remember.
I don't know.
I don't think
it's
she
just,
said.
I think it's just a 1 day for the women's global event.
Okay.
Thing, but I'm not sure.
The other big thing is make sure you are as organized as possible so that when you get scores in, you can push those scores out as fast as possible. That's one of the biggest complaints I've seen from people is when a tournament doesn't turn around and get the results out fast.
Yeah.
So whatever you got to do, if you got to get some volunteer help so that while you're doing some other things, people are pushing in scores the way they reflect on PDJ and stuff like that. I think that's a big one as well. Have a rule book on you, competition rule book.
I was going to say that.
Have that in your pocket, ready to go. You don't have to know everything right off the top of your head, but it would be good to be able to grab that book and reference it because you may have to settle a dispute.
Right.
And be ready for it and be ready to be firm with it and firm but fair. I guess I can't really think of anything off the top of my head.
No, that's really good. I think going along with the first thing that you said, having a printed rules sheet helps a lot.
Yeah.
Because they're still going to come and ask you questions, plain and simple. That is going to happen. But if each card, and what Steve-O and Brad do most of the time is they'll put the scorecard in the score point that has all the holes and names and everything like that. They'll put the scorecard in there and then a rule sheet just right there with it. So when you take the scorecard, you take the rule sheet. So each card has one 100%. So I think that helps a whole lot. And then just to echo what you said as well, preparation is vitally important to running tournaments. The more that you can do on the front end to get ready, the easier that you'll have it the day of.
Yeah.
So print those score sheets, get your scoreboards ready to go. Make sure that if it's all pre-registration, that you could have scorecards made, and then you can just set that score point out and you're good to go.
Absolutely.
So
you'll definitely want to over communicate everything that's going on.
Over prepare.
Mm-hmm. And then I guess one of the other things is always know that you're not going to please every single person.
Right.
You're going to try to do what you can to make everybody have a good time, but there's usually that one person that doesn't, and it's okay. Don't fret it.
It's usually Anthony.
It's usually Anthony.
Typically.
God, he gets so mad, man.
All right, next one comes from Justin.
Hey guys, Justin from Oregon here. Let's talk some of the new spring releases, specifically the Latitude 64 Explorer. I've watched some of the videos of DD team members trying out the Proto Explorer, and I'm kind of wondering if you guys have had a chance to try it out yourselves, and if so, where you think it'll fit in with the rest of the Trilogy lineup. Personally, I'm actually looking for some new fairway drivers at the moment, trying to focus on maybe throwing more control drivers, fairway drivers, instead of so many distance drivers, just as an amateur player. And so exploring that category right now. So I'm excited to try the new Getaway and the Explorer. My Convicts, I know I can get a little bit of turn out of those before they hook back up. I do like the stable finish on them, but thinking about trying out a Felon, I'm just wondering where you think the Explorer will fit in with those. I know it's supposed to be a straighter disc, but not sure how stable, and just kind of curious to hear your thoughts. Thanks.
So let's break these down one disc at a time. I haven't thrown any of them except
You've thrown a Convict.
You've thrown ours.
I threw the Maverick.
You threw the Maverick, the Getaway, and the Patrol.
Did he talk about the Patrol?
No, but
Okay.
you've thrown it.
Yeah, I threw the Patrol Maverick and the Getaway. But as the Explorer and the Ballista Pro, I haven't. So let's talk. Let's break it down. The first one, the Ballista Pro. What can people expect? I know he didn't say that, but it's part of the spring.
Yeah, if you're looking at our spring releases, Ballista Pro is very fast. I think it's a speed 14. Maybe I think that's right. Right,
I think 14. Yeah.
And it's pretty overstable too. The numbers, if you're into those things, say that it's a 0 turn, and I would agree with that. It doesn't really move right if you've thrown it smooth. It's just straight. It's for me a little bit straighter than a Defender, but still has good stability, especially at high speeds. I threw the Ballista Pro a lot. This last weekend and got some really good use out of it. So I think that's going to be one, especially if you are looking to expand it to distance drivers and like an enforcer, a defender is maybe just a little too much for your arm. Or if you're looking for something just a little straighter than those and you already throw those, that's going to be the ticket. It's really, really good.
And then Anthony, you've thrown the Explorer, yes? Explain to us the Explorer.
He was talking about felon and convict, and I think it's right between those two. Maybe a little bit slower, but you're going to be getting really similar distances, but it kind of has like the high speed stability of the felon with the low speed stability of the convict.
Yeah, that's good.
It's really, really straight, not a ton of fade. It's got some stability. It'll fight some winds and stuff like that, but I wouldn't use it as a wind fighter. But yeah, kind of right in between felon, convict, a little bit less distance.
Yeah, and it's like the Explorer has kind of a more gradual fade to it, where like you talked about, the convict will work over to the right a little bit and then usually swing left. The Explorer, for me, the Opto ones that we threw out of the box were, relatively overstable, but they would push straight for a long time and then just start moving left gradually instead of just hooking up really hard to the left. So I have both of those molds in my bag, the Ballista Pro and the Explorer. I think they're both great.
Excellent. So the Getaway is one that I know that a lot of our pros seem to be very excited. A lot of people are explaining it as if it's an Escape Pro. In other words, just a tad bit, I don't know what level, but more stable or more overstable, for different jargon that you use, than the Escape is, which is the Getaway. When I was out at Texas for the Piney Woods, I had Ron Converse and Donald Ellsworth try them out, and they both thought it was awesome. The first throw, they were like, yes. In fact, Donald nearly stole it from me.
Yeah,
told me,
sounds like freaking Donald,
he was trying to convince me to let him keep it, but it was a prototype, so I couldn't. But real briefly, tell us, Robert, what could we expect from the Getaway?
Yeah, same thing that you just said. I think it's not everyone, but a lot of people really like the Escape because it's just a slow, gradual turn up to flat and even over to the right a little bit, depending on how you release it. And the Getaway will fly it feels really, really similar to an Escape, and it has that same sort of gradual fade, but not as much early turn as the Escape has. And so, we were throwing it just on a baby hyzer, just a very, very small amount of hyzer, and it would tip up to flat and then just hold flat for quite a while and then just gradually finish to the left. It's going to be faster than the Explorer. I think they'll occupy a similar slot in people's bags. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to testing it out. It's the Explorer has surprised me. I put it immediately in my bag, and so I'm interested to see what the Getaway does.
Speaking of keeping people away from discs, we've had to lock all of our Mavericks up so that Anthony doesn't take them home.
Don't know what you're talking about. You can just leave them in the office. It's fine.
I think every time Temp, because in our studio here at the Disc Golf Answer Man, we also have a photography room, and every time Temp would bring in a Maverick to take pictures of, Anthony would be slobbering and ready to do it. And then when we had prototype Mavericks, we were like, hey, we should need some people to do some reviews of these. He was immediately like, I'll review it.
Dude, I'll do a review. What the heck, man?
I've done
Call me, man.
One or two of those in the past.
So Anthony, tell us why you're so excited about the Dynamic Discs Maverick.
It is the best.
Okay.
That's why. No, it's just...
Next question.
Yeah. It's just one of those discs that I think everyone can throw it, whether you're a brand new player or if you're Eric McCabe. If you throw it on a little bit of a hyzer, for me, I don't know, I throw my fairways like 350, so not huge, but I can get them out there. And it kind of stands up and it just rides to the right. And I've never seen a disc that turns as much as it does, but as slow as it does. Where sometimes, like the Thief, you throw it, and this is why Eric Oakley loves it. You throw it, and it just
pops over to roller.
It goes quick.
Hit it hard, but still.
Yeah. But the Maverick just kind of gently, there's been hole 14 at East. It's for people that have played GBO, the parking lot's behind you going towards the pond. And I'll throw it on there with a little bit of hyzer, goes straight, looks like it's going to start fading, and then it just keeps turning to the right. It's
a really slow turning disc. It's very interesting.
It's really weird, and I love every single thing about it.
Yep.
Nice. And then, of course, the Patrol is going to be an understable mid-range.
That's right.
Right, understable mid-range. You might not see a lot. You probably won't see pros throwing it.
You might.
You think?
It depends on if they have liked discs like the Discraft had an old school disc called the Stratus. I don't think they keep anymore, but like a Stingray from Innova is the same sort of thing. Just a very understable disc that you could throw out basically flat and have it roll.
Okay.
And so, pros will only use it for maybe those quick, the rollers that they want to lay down quick. But beginning players will, I think, love this thing. Just really, really easy to throw straight, even work over to the right some for them.
Yeah. Tomorrow, we're actually recording this Tuesday. You'll be listening to it at least by Wednesday. But Thursday this week is going to be in the mid-60s.
Yeah.
And so Anthony's going to take some discs out, including the Maverick and then I think the Ballista Pro and the Explorer.
We've got Captains too coming out this year, but
do we have any upstairs? Or?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe he can grab the Captain and do that as well. Oh, we didn't talk about the Captain.
Yeah.
We'll come back to that. I'm sorry. I forgot about that one.
It's okay.
So anyway, what I'm getting at is that Anthony's going to start doing some of his, if you guys know of DG Weekly, that is Anthony. That's what he was doing before. So it was obviously on a part-time job. He had a full-time job and stuff like that, but now he's here full-time. Now he's not going to do full-time DG Weekly, but he's going to use that channel as a way to create disc reviews for the Dynamic Disc Westside Latitude 64. So tomorrow is going to be the first time to really go out there and do a nice review, create the video and put it out there. So he'll have some reviews. You should go out and you'll see reviews from other people on YouTube as well. But I did forget about the Captain. What can we expect on the Captain?
Captain is a high-speed understable disc. So it'll fit around I think it's a 13, and it's going to fly something like, if you're familiar with the Westside Disc King, I think it'll be somewhat similar to that, depending on the King that you have. They've been more stable in earlier runs. But I think beginning players will find a disc that it's easier for them to throw a little bit farther because it will turn up to the right and then finish to the left a little. And then more experienced players will find something that is really, really easy to throw smooth and right over to the right, or a high-speed roller.
Excellent.
They're going to be good.
All right. So hopefully you're still with us as we talked a lot about our new disc. But some good information. A lot of people are excited about a lot of these discs. And so good information for you to figure out when to get these discs.
For people that want to see those, everything except the getaway we have up on YouTube with Zach Melton, Eric Oakley, and Tina Stenitis.
Of our discs. We don't have Ballista Pro and Explorer yet.
Yes.
But you need to check those out. People are buzzing about them. They're very, very good.
Real nice.
Yes. All right. We're going to take a real quick break. When we come back, we'll talk about Robert McCall in his 1,000 rated round.
Look at me. Whoa. Sorry, guys.
All right, we are back. So Robert McCall had driven to Texas.
Yes.
They had the Cedar Hill Chill and the Town Lake Pro-Am events ran by Dynamic Disc Carrollton. And from what I see on Facebook, the events went really well.
Yeah.
Other than the weather, which you can't control.
It was cold, yeah.
Cold. And I think what was the last round of Town Lake was some sleet and rain?
That was actually the first round of Town Lake.
Yeah.
But in the morning it was 24, 25. And in the middle of the round, we got some what they call wintry mix, which is like half rain, half sleet.
Nice. Well, we want to congratulate Robert McCall because on Saturday during the Cedar Hill Chill, he took down the Open Division.
Let's go. Thank
First
you.
place.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. I'll be here all week.
Good job there.
Thanks.
Even though that isn't the two rounds you got both 1,000, was it?
Those both were.
Oh, those both. Okay, I'm sorry. Then I was thinking of the wrong event.
Yeah.
So anyway, went out there and it was at the Cedar Hill Chills, typically at the Coyote and the Beaver course.
Beaver and Coyote. Yeah, we played Coyote first, which is the more wooded one.
Yeah.
And then Beaver was second round. Yeah.
Excellent. So for people that aren't familiar with the Texas, what's like? Well, I don't know if you can. I guess just quickly describe
these courses. Yeah, these courses are more wooded than most of the courses that we have in Texas. Coyote plays through. The first hole is pretty open, and then you get back into the woods, and you really have to shape shots in the woods. And there are a lot of places that you can get in trouble on the Coyote course, and just in general at Cedar Hill. If you're just a little bit off the fairway, your scramble game is going to be super important to scoring well out there. And we were joking with the guys on my card. Maybe 3 or 4 holes in, I had already thrown a couple of 2 or 3 patent pending shots. You know, when you put your left foot behind the disc and your body is basically reversed to the basket. I bet I threw 7 of those, or maybe 8 at Cedar Hill, period.
Was that part of the game plan?
That was part of the game plan. It ended up, I mean, I was probably 80% on those. Maybe 90. I threw one bad one, and it was into a tree, like, I don't know, 30 feet in front of me. I just stood up a little quick. It was a tough shot no matter what. But anyway, but other than that, that really came in handy for me. So that's the Coyote course, quite a bit more wooded. There's a few holes in the open to finish. Open is a relative term, more open. And then Beaver has some holes that are a little bit more open, and it was windy that day. And so that played a big factor in our drives and putts and everything like that. And I just honestly didn't do anything crazy good. I just didn't get in trouble very much. I had 3 4s all day. 2 of them were on par 4s. One of them was on, it's like a 3.5. If you get a 3, you're pretty happy with your score there. And that's the one I threw the bad patent pending shot on. Putted pretty well, made some putts through some bushes and with weird kind of limbs in the way. And at the end of the day, it was kind of like, I've described it to people who've asked, is like, it was kind of a boring win, because I didn't it wasn't like I finished, like birdie, eagle, birdie.
There was nothing exciting.
I just didn't make a whole lot of mistakes. I just kept it in the middle and got a few birdies when I needed them, and made some good putts.
Well, I mean, all it takes to win is having the better score, and you had the better score, everybody. So
that's it. So yeah, so those rounds were 10, 15, and 10, 20. So that's a good average for a day for me.
So 16 open players.
Yeah, and some good guys there.
Dakota Hatfield, Johnny McRae, Miles Seaborn, Billy Engel.
Yep.
I mean, some big names that I recognize in there. So good job on there.
Thank you, sir.
So those obviously, if you guys want to know how the bet's going, those obviously will help.
Those will be in my benefit. However, so Town Lake was on Sunday,
right? Now there he only placed 3rd, which I say only.
So bad.
Second place is the first loser.
That's right. No, but after the first, I was tied for 7th out of 12.
Oh wow! So you big jump back in.
Yeah, I was 4 out of the. I'll leave it out next time. I was 4 out of the lead. Nolan Greider is a Texas legend. I mean, he's just super good, and he played very well there. But I couldn't really find my putter very well just outside the circle. Did you look
in your bag?
Yeah, well, I had them in my hand.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying they felt foreign to me.
Okay, gotcha.
I had 5 or 6 35-footers, and I just couldn't get a feel for them. If I make even 2, then I feel pretty good about that round. Not great, but like, okay. And I just missed all of them. Missed a couple-ish inside the circle that I shouldn't miss, but that was that round. And then second round, Paige Pierce, 4-time world champ, caddied for me.
I've heard of her.
We turned it around. And I tied for the hot round, second round, but I was already a few back of the leader. But it did jump me from that tie for 7th up to 3rd place. And that was, the first round was 978. The second round was 1027.
So if you guys don't know, we have a bet going on that by 2019, January 1st, sometime between now and then, if he gets to be 1,000 rated player, then he gets to pick he gets a disc, and he gets to put any Dimax on there, and I have to carry that disc. How long do I have to carry it?
Forever.
Okay, and then
do you get to pick the disc too?
Oh yeah.
So you could just give him like a stiletto or something.
Yeah, something he no. I want to.
It's got to be something I use a lot.
Yes, I want it to be like
you had to use it. He could pick, like, it could be a justice, and you have to throw it.
No. I'm going to pick a disc that he wants to use and take the other ones out. So he has to use that one.
I use the proof a lot.
Is that right? Okay, nice lucid proof.
And then of course I owe him lunch, and then the vice versa. If he doesn't, then he owes me lunch, and I get to pick a disc and a Dymax.
So we're on the same page. I stand to lose a lot more here. I play a lot more disc golf than Bobby does.
This is true.
In front of more people. Not like big galleries or anything, but I'd go play disc golf with people at tournaments.
Bobby is pretty good about posting when he goes to play disc golf, though.
That's true.
That's
pretty much every round.
Maybe we need to make that a caveat. Every disc golf picture for that next year. if you post a picture with a disc, that disc has to be somewhere in there. We'll figure it out.
So anyway, the weekends prior though didn't bode so well for him.
Exactly. So I really needed these to basically just cover that up.
Yeah. So
yeah, it's kind of a wash.
Evened everything out.
It's kind of a wash, but I will say this weekend was a more of like a confidence booster for me. Because I threw the disc really well this weekend. I putted okay, made some really good putts the second round at Town Lake, but still missed a couple of shorties that I shouldn't. But what I was struggling with at Louisville the week before was throwing. I could not figure out where my discs were going, and I tried everything. And so this weekend, I didn't throw, but just a couple of errant drives. So
that's good.
Look out.
So the whole point is that my theory is that when you work in disc golf, you become less good at disc golf. Because a lot of people I've seen now, maybe not so much lately, but
I'm in real trouble.
I don't have much. I don't have.
I can't go down farther.
People have always said I'd love to work in disc golf, thinking that they would be doing. Disc golf
you just get to play disc golf all the time, and you get better.
So anyway, I need more and more people to apply to be on sponsors, so that to bog down Robert McCall.
Bring the heat, man.
More work for Robert McCall.
Bring the heat. I'm ready.
If you're a team player, you need to be calling him every day. Mm-hmm. If you're on Team Dynamic Discs, call him every day needing something.
Dude, Zach Melton called me last night at 10:45.
For what?
Job,
yeah, I was in bed, and he was like, "Hey, man, what's going on?"
That's not
Zach. I was like, "Zach, it's 10:45, dude." He said, "Oh man, I didn't realize. I guess I didn't. I forgot that y'all are an hour ahead of us. We're just driving to South Carolina. Just want to say what's up."
That's hilarious.
It's 10:45, man. So even if he hasn't heard the show already, he's following through for you.
So all right, what do you say we get back to some questions?
Let's.
I think we've asked 3 questions on this.
Okay.
So, okay.
Rapid fire.
Let's get to Riley. No, let's not get to Riley.
We're not going to get to Riley.
Make that 4 questions.
Oh, Riley, something went wrong. When I hit play, it does nothing, and it says 0 seconds. So, Riley, you might want to resubmit your question. It's not seem to be working. Okay, this one's from Anonymous.
Hey, Disc Golf Answer Man. At this time last year, I was playing Rec. I've made some strides in the game pretty quickly, but I haven't played a PDGA tournament. I just got a membership in late 2017, and I'm signed up for the GBO.
Nice.
I don't have a rating. I signed up for intermediate. Like I said, at this time last year, I was playing Rec, and the people that advised me on the division to sign up for were some pro guys and some upper level guys that said, if I don't have a rating, that's probably where I should be. In the event that the unthinkable happens and I actually shoot some hot rounds and get a good rating, am I going to be labeled as a sandbagger even though I don't have a rating going in? That's the last thing I want. I don't want to play that game, but I was just wondering what you guys think. I don't want to switch anything because I really want to be in the GBO and I just want to play more than anything. But going in without a rating, if I light it up and shoot a good round, which could happen and I could miss that by a mile, am I going to be labeled as a sandbagger and become public enemy following the GBO? Thanks, guys.
Yes.
If you win.
Dude,
If you win,
imagine if your very first PDGA tournament was GBO in intermediate and you won.
For the record,
Awesome.
that was mine up until win.
Oh, yeah.
My first sanctioned tournament was GBO intermediate.
Nice. Up until the winning part.
Up until the winning, yes.
Gotcha. Yes.
That part I did not do.
So I get out.
Break it down.
Who's the guy from Police Academy?
Check. Oh, Michael Winslow.
Yeah. I don't think you're going to all of a sudden play to where you're going to be out of intermediate division.
Well, I think
or
what he's when people come after sandbaggers, right?
Right.
It's usually people who are well established in that division as having been at the top of that division, right?
Right.
So somebody like we give Kevin Schaefer a hard time because he's a really good player. He's moved up to Open this year, so he's playing Open. But before that, he's
like for 15 years he played
for since he was like 10 years old or whatever. I don't know. But people give sandbaggers a hard time if they're well established in that division. So if you'd been playing intermediate for a long time, and let's say that your rating was like 933, right at the very top of intermediate, and you'd already won several intermediate tournaments, and you came to GBO and just crushed it. Let's say you averaged like 970 or something pretty stout. Then people, if they said you're a sandbagger, sure, that could be justified. Yeah. If you don't have a rating yet and you're just trying to feel it out, man, I don't think you have to worry about it. And even if they do, who cares? Like, it's well within your right as a player to play within your division. You don't even know what your division is yet. So if somebody complains about that, I wouldn't be concerned about that.
Just don't win, because if you do win, then yes, you're going to be a bagger.
No, that's fantastic. If somebody without a rating won, like if they've never played a tournament before,
someone's going to come.
Well, somebody's going to call them, but then we can be like, you're done.
When I saw that you run first place at Cedar Hill, I was like, bagger.
You told me I was a bagger.
Bagger.
Tell me what division I should have moved to instead.
Should have moved to
Super Pro.
Yeah.
Nice.
Play lefty.
Nice.
Yeah, lefty. Yeah.
I don't want to move to Super Pro. I have enough challenges in regular men's pro open.
All right. Next one's from Alan.
How's it going, DGAM fam? Pardon my sick voice, but
sorry.
Oh well. I'm really looking forward to the amateur match play tournaments that are coming up soon. And as soon as I get permission from the rest of the board here, I will apply to be a tournament director here in Southern California for one of the local brackets.
Excellent.
Anyway, my question today is one that popped up on the disc golf debate group on Facebook, and it has to do with the new rule about missing your lie. Now, as far as I understand it, the new rule says that if you miss your lie, your throw, putt, whatever it is, counts plus a penalty stroke. Now, the situation they were talking about was, let's say you're on a par 5, your first shot, you drive right into the middle of the fairway, and then your second shot, you quote-unquote miss your lie by walking all the way up to the basket and dropping in your second shot plus a penalty stroke. Did you just get an eagle?
Oh, wow.
I don't think so. But anyway, I know there's a rule about gross misplay of a hole, and I'm pretty sure that would come into play here. But it begs the question, when does missing your lie become gross misplay? Is it by intention? Is it a number of feet from your lie? Is it just something up to the card? Because that seems something rather subjective for the card to just decide that. Anyway, wanted to hear your thoughts on this, and thank you for taking the question.
Yeah, I'd have to say that's just because you found a loophole, right, doesn't mean you get to actually do it. Mm-hmm. And I would think that gross misplay or misuse or whatever of a rule would come into play. I don't think you could do that.
If that was the case, though, I guarantee every par 4 I run up to the front of the box and get ready to throw, and then just continue to X step all the way down the fairway until I get to the basket and drop it in. Eagle. I only threw it once. Penalty stroke. No. You're welcome. You're exactly right. And if anybody's trying to do that, then you're looking at it the wrong way, right? Golf and disc golf and sports like this that are individually based run and are best played when personal integrity is intact, right? It's an honor of the game. Like it is etiquette. That's what makes these sports do what they do. It's what makes them great, because you could be in the woods. You might fudge your lie a little bit and squeak like a few inches past the outside of your mini or outside of your lie area around your mini, and nobody could know. But like, that sucks. Don't do that, And so with a situation like this, it's a spirit of the game type thing. The spirit of the game and that rule is not to allow you to find a loophole and just go drop it in. They loosened up the lie a little bit so that we could have, I guess, fewer foot faults called. They'd have to be quite a bit more obvious to be called, because we know that it's difficult when running up to land in the right spot every single time. But that doesn't mean that it's intended to make the game easier for anybody.
Yeah,
I think he nailed it. I think it's all about intention.
And intention is right.
You're not accidentally going to miss your lie by 6 feet. It's just not a thing.
Or 65
or
feet.
all the way up next to the basket.
Yeah.
I would still be X stepping down the fairway. If we had started this question and we were on a par 4, I'd still be X stepping while you were
getting
talking.
Close.
And I'd be dropping in for 2.
trying the patented XX360.
XX360X
from my hyzer.
Don't know if you've heard about it.
Yeah. Next one's from Kellen.
What's up, three amigos? This is Kellen McCann from Jonesboro, Arkansas, and I have a question about the EMAC Truth feel, quote unquote. I know the EMAC Truth, the Verdict, and the Warrant, discs like that, all have that EMAC Truth feel in the hand, whereas the Latitude 64 Fuse and discs like that do not have that feel. I was just wondering what y'all's idea of the EMAC Truth feel is. Is it a bead? Is it not a bead? Is it how deep the rim is? Things like that. Just let me know what you think. And as always, y'all keep it real.
Thanks, Kellen. Pretty sure Kellen's sponsored by Latitude 64, by the way. So thanks for calling it.
I think it's a combination. The thickness of the rim and the depth. Because he specifically mentioned the Fuse, which has a super thin rim.
Yep.
And the Verdict and the EMAC Truth and the Truth and everything like that, I feel like the thickness is pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
They're all, the outside of the rim shape is different, but the thickness and the depth, pretty similar.
Right. And they're all not beaded. And so, that sort of feel, it's like if you've ever held, and people, this is the age old debate in disc golf that's been going on since long before we made discs, was, are you a buzz guy or are you a rock guy? Now you've got a whole lot of different mid-ranges to choose from. And obviously we think we have a great one to contribute in the EMAC Truth. But before that, those felt really different from one another. You know, a buzz doesn't have a bead. It's a pretty, I guess, a pretty strong slope from the edge of the rim to the bottom of it. And then the rock is beaded and kind of has like a beveled edge to it. And the EMAC Truth has a feel, I guess, closer to that buzz type feel where it's a smoother, gradual rim and no bead on the bottom. And so when we made those discs like they are, the intent was that you could feel comfortable with any of those in your hand because they all kind of felt the same. So yeah, thickness of the rim, like how far it is from the edge of the rim, and then how deep it is. I think you basically nailed it.
Excellent.
Proud of you, man.
Got it. Nice job, Anthony.
Thank you.
You're gonna get a promotion.
We're gonna take a break real quick. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit about the disc golf experience at Arrowhead Stadium.
Nice.
And an update on the event count for United States Amateur Match Play Championships.
Is it 1 million?
1 million.
Slightly less than 1 million.
One of the cool events that we've done is bringing disc golf to a football stadium. It's been very popular when we did it at AT&T Stadium. Was popular when we did it at the Nissan Stadium in Tennessee. AT&T Stadium, of course, being in the Dallas area. Is it actually in Dallas?
It's in Arlington.
But it's like Dallas area is a correct way to say that, right?
Yeah. I mean, DFW is the whole Metroplex.
Would it be safe to say a team associated with Dallas plays there?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, now that we've done it there, we can say Dallas, the home of the Dallas Cowboys, and of course, Nissan is the home of the Tennessee Titans.
And this is the home of the Kansas City Chefs.
The Chefs. Yeah.
That's right. You remember that that Snickers commercial? The guy's painting the end zone, and he finishes, and his supervisor comes over and says, "Hey, that looks great, but who are the chefs?" I like that one.
So we're going to be in the Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. We're going to bring disc golf to that stadium. We're going to have a 9-hole setup there. We're going to have it's going to be on June 16th. We'll have last I heard, we're going to be able to have roughly 500 players come in. Nice. Tee times all set up. We're going to have different levels all the way from just showing up and wanting the pack, the players pack.
Yep.
You can have a family experience, which means your family can come in and just kind of walk around and watch the action. Then, of course, the player experience. Or no, I'm sorry. Then the player experience where you actually play and you get the discs and stuff like that. And then we have a VIP experience where we're going to treat those people to some beverages and food and some extra special places to go throw some discs. And we added a 5th level called the non-playing VIP.
Whoa.
So let's say, Robert, you wanted to go play and be part of the VIP, but then Shay, your wife, didn't want to throw. She just wanted to be part of the VIP experience with you.
She's out of the family.
Okay. So
okay, my bad.
you have the non-playing VIP. So they'll take a part of the food and the drinks and going to the special areas, and they'll be able to and I believe they get
Maybe the players pack or something.
No.
Okay. So they just get to do the VIP things, but without the disc golf portion of it.
Correct.
That's a cool idea.
So that's a good idea. So anyway, discgolfscene.com, search for Arrowhead Experience or just Arrowhead. It'll find it for you and you can get signed up. Registration starts February 14th at noon, which is Central Time Zone. So tomorrow. So this afternoon.
Yeah, by the time this releases.
Yeah, by the time this is by noon Wednesday, February 14th. And then, of course, the event is June 16th. I don't know that this event will fill fast, but I have a feeling it's going to, they're all going to be fun times, but a lot of the more popular tee times will probably get filled fast.
Right.
So if you are thinking about going, you're not quite sure, I highly suggest you just pull the trigger and get on board if you're in the area.
No doubt.
Now, a lot of people, every time we post stuff like this, people say, "Oh, do it here, do it at this day." And I say, I can't understand you because of the way you're talking.
You got to move your tongue, man.
You're going to want to use the words next time.
No, we try to reach out to different stadiums. So it's not like, we're trying to get into different stadiums. So, just be patient with us as we do this disc golf experience.
But no, we're always working on something.
We're always working on something. And then real quick update on the United States Amateur Match Play Championship. That's disc golf match play, which is something I know people do it on a local level, but I don't know that anybody's done it on this scale.
Not like this, no.
Not on this big of a scale.
No.
You cannot be a pro player. You have to have. I'm sorry.
You can be a pro player.
Okay, I'm sorry. Explain. Yes.
But your rating has to, your current rating can't be over 969.
Okay.
So if you're 970 rated or higher, and I'm pretty sure that's right. If you're 970 rated or higher, whether you're an amateur or a pro, sorry, you are disqualified from competition.
Sorry about you.
Now, if you are a pro who's rated, say, 955 and you've accepted cash, you are still welcome to play. That's how it is. It's just a ratings cap. Now, if you don't currently have a rating, then they go by the highest your rating was when you did have a rating. Yeah. So if you were ever rated over 970, then you can't participate.
And we had discovered, I think you mentioned it, you weren't 100% sure about the disc, but you had mentioned it last time, but we'll go ahead and
let's spill the beans.
We have got confirmation that it's going to be a burst. And I completely forgot.
Fusion.
Thank you.
Maverick
and
Anthony's favorite disc.
Literally the reason I signed up.
Yeah. I'm considering signing up.
And a burst.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gold Line Explorer.
That's right.
I thought I had it all in my head.
I believe I had it all. You got it.
So Burst, Fusion, Maverick, and a Burst Gold Line Explorer. So 2 brand new discs.
Yeah. Yes. And if you haven't seen the ones, the Burst Mavericks, Burst Explorers that we have in buyback stores right now, you need to check those out.
Nice.
They're pretty.
Yeah.
They're nice.
Yeah. No, those are Gold X plastic. These will just be Gold Line, but
they're so pretty.
The Burst will look fantastic.
Yeah.
I am so excited for both of those things.
Yes.
Yeah. I've never been to an
I will throw all of them.
Yes. Well, I meant the disc golf experience.
Oh, and the U.S. Amateur. Yeah, I agree.
Because you guys have both been.
Mm-hmm. I think I've gone to all 4 of them.
I've been to all none of them. So
I've been to all of them. The first one, it's interesting. The very first one we did, I can't remember what had happened, but we had decided who was going to be kind of the head guy to run it. And I said, you know what? Let me prove that I can do things. And I said, let me organize this. And I was the main go-to guy organizer of the big event. I thought it was kind of cool. Mm-hmm. There were a few things that I should have done different that I learned. Like we didn't have tee times the first time. And people came to me and said, should we do tee times? And I thought, well, no, it's going to be like you're at an amusement park and your wait's going to run. And then I remember the huge line. I thought, oh, yes, we probably should have done tee times.
Yes. Yeah. Because you signed up either for the morning or afternoon, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I remember I was at that one.
Yeah, so we learned a few things doing the first one, but I remember at the end I was like, because I was kind of stressed at the whole thing, how it happened, this thing's going to go right, organize the help and stuff, but it turned out really good.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, so yes, it'll be very exciting.
Super excited.
Because this will be first time Anthony's actually been able to do it. Mm-hmm. He'll be working most of it.
Nah.
He'll get to play.
Nah. I'm just going to play the whole time.
He's just going to play the whole time?
I've never heard of him doing any
constantly
work. Remember that promotion we were talking about?
Yeah.
Let's talk demotion.
It's gone.
Back to just regular where we were before we started this podcast.
So anyway, back to the disc golf match play. We are in 200. We have a 235 event count, which is awesome.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
50 states. But you can find out more information about how to get signed up at Disc Golf Match Play. And if you want even more in depth, UDisc is really just kicking it up.
They know what the deal is, dude.
They worked with us on Winter Marksman League. That was awesome. Still going on. That's really awesome. And now they've worked with us with the match play, and just the stuff they're putting out is really good. udisc.com. That's the letter U, DISC.com/match play. And you can see a map of all the places where there are events happening. You can click on the state and find out which area has qualifying brackets. And then once you get a bracket in there, you can click on there and you can know who you need to contact to do it in your area. I know that Dixon Jowers has one here in Emporia. He went live, picked the brackets, and then so if you went to Kansas,
you a little salty about that, Anthony?
Yeah, I got to talk to UDisc about their random.
So it's random. But once Dixon did the whole bracket where UDisc did the bracket, now you can look at the bracket and see how the results are laid out. So just really cool stuff. But I also wanted to use this opportunity to, again, call out Alaska.
What the heck, Alaska?
Nothing in Alaska.
It is winter.
Once again, we don't know if the internet works there right now, so maybe they haven't heard about it.
Their internet pipes are frozen.
British Columbia. Come on, British Columbia.
They've got no excuse.
Connecticut. Hawaii.
Okay, well, the internet definitely works there.
Definitely.
Maritime provinces.
Yeah, there you go.
Nevada.
What?
Really?
Quebec.
What?
Rhode Island.
Canada is.
Well, Rhode Island is very tiny.
And Wyoming.
Wyoming is not very tiny.
I don't think Buffalo play disc golf.
Big sky, mini
we need
Buffalo.
to get you guys on the map so that we can have all the states and all these provinces ready to go.
Canada is slacking.
Come April. What's the first day you can start? April 1st, I guess?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's right, yeah.
So anyway, so enough talk about that.
I thought it was March.
It says
doesn't ours start
no.
in
You're
March?
right. Local
Right,
qualifying
March, April, May is right.
Yeah.
So March, April, May, you can do it. So get things started. Get on it. Those places that we talked about. You want to try for the discs for life.
Yeah.
And 18 baskets.
Do we know what plastic the Maverick is releasing in? Because I know it releases in March.
So
but that might be the only way to get a fusion.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I would bet
typically we do Lucid.
We do Lucid first usually, yeah.
So it might be the only way.
Sweet.
Yep. All right, let's get back to the questions. Boy, guys, I apologize. We haven't done a lot of questions. We've done a lot of talking. Not a lot of question answering.
It's not whose fault is that?
I don't know. It's not the disc golf talk man.
Yeah, it is.
It kind of is.
It's disc golf answer man.
Yeah, okay.
So let's answer some questions. This one's come from
Anonymous.
Boo.
Boo.
Called it.
What's up, guys? Quick question today. I'm wondering what you guys think about minis. Do we really need minis? Why couldn't we just mark the lie with another disc? In the rare instance that you have to come back in from out of bounds or something like that, why can't you just place another disc? Once you take your meter, place another disc on the ground and play from there. Why do we actually need a small miniature disc for that purpose? Also, do you guys think that perhaps we'll see a day where we decide as a sport that we don't need minis and you can just use another disc? Do you see any negatives to that? I'm just kind of unsure as to how the whole mini thing came about and whether or not it's really necessary. What do you guys think? Let me know. I'll check you later. Cheers.
Boo, why are you hating on minis?
What the heck, man?
So much hate. Just kidding. That's actually an interesting question. My theory would be
Okay, I'm ready.
Speed of play, because you can have a mini in your pocket.
Sure.
And you walk up and you don't have to. Oh, where's my caddy? I need a disc. Where's whatever.
Sure.
They can put the mini down and be on their way. That would be my guess.
I'll go the way.
My theory.
Yeah, I'll go the way of less savory thoughts of people on the course, and that's that. I think it, and this might be unintentional too, but if you were allowed to mark your lie with another disc, then I think you would see people on accident mark their lie with a certain disc, pick up the disc that they threw, and then return to their disc later on and be like, oh, I haven't marked this yet. Mark it again, pick it up.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
That is so unsavory.
That's the most unsavory
Come
thing
on,
I
Derek.
could. No, that's not true. But still, freaking Derek, man.
Derek Savory.
But yeah, I think whether intentional or unintentional, I think that's the reason they don't do that. Now,
that's a good theory.
I do think that we should at some point move marking our discs not from the front of the disc, but from the back,
Why?
so that it's the same lie no matter what. So like you don't. So look, if
Start a revolution.
no, they've talked about. One of the guys from the PDGA was talking about this. But if we did like they do in golf, you mark the back of the ball instead
That's
of
a
the
good
front.
discussion question.
Yeah. Then
Next week.
Then it's
I already got
then
this
it's the same lie no matter if you pick up that disc or not.
Yeah.
Because right now, if I walk up to my drive, if I mark it, now I've created a new lie, right, in the front. If I don't, then it's the original lie. If we mark from the back, then it's always that original lie.
I think they don't let you mark it as the front without using a marker. You can't use the front because you would have to throw from on the disc.
Yeah. I get that. I agree.
So I think the whole disc is your lie.
Yeah. Okay. I'm good with that.
So you're just marking the front edge of the lie.
No, but it would be
edge.
no. It can't be the whole disc. Can't be the lie because if you step on your disc, it's foot fault.
Mm-hmm.
So it can't be your lie.
But it is.
No.
That's why I never mark my lie.
That's why I exclusively mark my lie.
Unless I'm throwing that same disc
Why don't
twice.
you wait? You don't mark your lie
Never.
because why again?
I just don't.
Oh.
I don't need to. It's much easier.
Don't tell me how to live my life.
If you think like obviously the new foot fault rule kind of helps.
True.
But if you have an entire disc to put your foot next to or a tiny little quarter size disc to put your foot next to, it's much easier to hit the full size disc.
Yeah.
And then I don't have to think about, okay, my foot is, dang, I missed it by a couple inches.
Yeah. I mostly only mark it, like you said, if I'm going to throw the same disc, or I'll mark every putt, no matter where it is.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe I should because
Yeah. Think about
I
it.
need some help.
Think about it.
I usually put my bag and mark it with my bag.
Just some spray paint
my
and
Ranger
circle
bag
around
right
it.
there.
Yeah. I'm going to throw from somewhere
This
in
is
here.
mine now,
Yeah.
guys.
So
I can dig it.
next one comes from Tim.
Hey, EMAC, Cool Daddy Slick
dude.
Breeze, and Robert Quick Tip McCall.
So, dude.
Tim coming at you from Missoula, Montana. And I'm just wondering if you guys have ever had a disc, maybe at the start of your career, or discs, that just was a game changer and blew your mind. For me, I started with the DX Rhino, and I got my hands on a Champion Boss that I loved and went so straight and so far, and I just could not believe that was possible. And later, I had a few other discs that were game changers. And just recently, I got my hands on a Lucid Sparkle Sheriff that I'm in love with. It is just flying dead straight with such a reliable fade. And I can flex it a little bit if I want, both forehand and backhand, especially the forehand. I'm loving it. It has given me probably 30 feet of just easy extra distance I haven't been getting. So I'm in love with it. So back to my question, it's just that if you've had those discs that changed the way you saw the game, what were they? Anyway, thanks, guys.
Great question.
I don't know that I have a disc that changed the game for me, but I know there's a disc that I just really like.
I know what it is.
The Suspect.
That's mine too.
There's just I just have, and I don't know that I can't talk. It hasn't been in my bag since I started throwing dynamic discs, but it came back into my bag. And there's one particular one that I have that's got old school Dymax D's on it that I've lost it 3 times and it's come back to me. I mean, it's always come back
Tractor
to me.
beam.
Yeah. But what I really like about it is that if I need a upshot to come right back to the basket, it's so predictable to go to the basket to the left. If I accidentally overthrow it, I know it's still going to come back and I won't have too bad of a putt.
Right.
Now, it's not going to be perfect, but if I go, dang it, I threw that too hard, at least I know it's going to come back toward the basket.
Right.
And that's good for me. If I think I need the distance, I can really, for my arm speed, I can really get on it and it's not going to turn over.
It's not going to move right. Yeah.
Right. And it's going to go straight, but it's still going to have that turn. It's not, I don't know. Well, I think at certain times in certain winds, I've gotten to flip to really flat, but I've never had it turn over and go the wrong way and just away from the basket. And so that's the one that I always like, no matter how I change up my bag because of the wind, because I'm playing a quick round, that Suspect is always in the bag.
Nice.
Yeah, that for me it was the Suspect, and I wouldn't really say it was a game changer, but that was the first disc that was like a designated approach disc. Sometimes it would just be like, okay, I'm probably going to throw mid-range on this, or I'm probably going to throw a putter on this. But now it's like, if I have an approach shot that's less than 300 feet and I don't need to turn over, I'm throwing a Suspect.
Yeah.
And it's just like Bobby said, it's just straight, doesn't go too far. It's just It's a good one.
Yeah.
That is a really good
That's
one.
a good one.
The one that did this for me early on, I started throwing Innova discs because that's all that was in my area. This was 2008. And the first time I threw a DX Rock, I was like, all right, this is sweet. And I used the same one for a really long time. It was one of my favorite discs for sure. Just because it was really versatile for me. The same thing happened when Dynamic Discs came out with a Warden, because I don't think I was sponsored by Dynamic Discs at the time. And I was putting with judges. I was throwing all DD stuff, and I had been talking a little bit with Rusko and some of the team members, but I wasn't on the team. And I was putting judges, and the Warden came out, and I will never forget. It was when DD Carrollton wasn't in Carrollton. It was at Louisville, close to Lake Park. I'd played my first round at Lake Park was awful, and I hadn't putted well. And I was down on myself. And so I went to the DD Louisville store. They had one first run classic hard Warden in stock because they'd just come out. I bought that and I putted with it the next round. That will tell you how rough my putting was the first round. And I started on hole 2 and hit like a 45 footer from kind of like the railroad ties down onto the sand. And I literally have not putted with a disc since because I love the Warden. It is my favorite disc. If I were to ever do something that would warrant me getting a signature disc, it would be this. It would be, I almost said the Suspect like you guys. It would be the Warden for sure. I put them, I throw them. They're my favorite.
Do you still have that first one?
I do.
Do you still throw it?
No, not right now. It's rotated out right now, but it's only because I got one that I thought was really cool looking. And I was like, I got to throw this.
Look good, feel good, throw good.
That's right. That's right.
the way to do it.
But yeah, I still have it and it's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, next one comes from Joseph.
Lots of French people calling into the show today.
We're very popular in France.
Hello, Disc Golf Answerman crew. I'm coming to you from across the ocean, Sweden.
I was going to say.
Thank you guys for an awesome show. I really enjoy listening to you guys. So my question is about increasing driving distance. Not very original, I know, but I really believe you get an advantage.
We never get any questions about increasing. Actually, you know what? To be fair, they haven't. At the very beginning, quite a bit. At the very beginning, a lot of people. I think maybe we pick on it enough to where people stop. But no, anyway, back to Joseph.
On the field by being able to perhaps hyzer a 400 feet hole instead of having to flex one out there just to get a putt. I'm currently throwing pretty far, between 400 and 450 feet consistently, but can't seem to break that 450 barrier. So I'm wondering, what are the pros doing? How are they able to throw 500 feet so effortlessly? Yeah, I'll post a video of me throwing as soon as you accept me into your Facebook group.
Working on it.
Keep up the good work, and I look forward to hearing from you guys. Bye.
Awesome.
He has come to the right people. If you want to throw 500
super
feet,
far,
this is your group.
Right here.
I bet if we added together what we threw.
Hey, one time this weekend though, it was a hole out, like you started in the trees, but we threw out into the open at Cedar Hill, and Johnny McRae was on my card. He throws pretty far. And he threw Gladiator, I threw Ballista Pro, and we were like, I don't know, 10 feet from one another.
Dang.
So look out. Miles was like 60 feet in front of us. Come on, man.
I was just going to say, does the TD know that Miles threw for you?
Yeah, that's, yeah, he was way out there. Anyway.
He's good.
The difference between throwing 450 feet and 500 feet, I feel like, is really small stuff, right?
It's like 50 feet.
Well, okay. Pretty big. I'm saying changing small stuff, right?
Okay.
It's like what is it called? The law of diminishing returns, right? You can change one thing and it'll add 50 feet to your distance if you're going from 200 to 250. But that 50 feet is so much easier to get than the 50 feet between 450 and 500 feet. That distance difference is fine tuning, right? So making sure that your reach back is straight backwards and out from your body a little bit, so you're not bringing it in too close and allowing your shoulders to get out in front of the disc. That's one of the things that I've been working on lately, is making sure that my arm leads the throw so that I can get that disc kind of into that power pocket, right? That's vitally important. Making sure that your reach back, I did it for you, Bobby.
Just did a Bobby.
That your reach back is a full reach back, not just where your arm is extended all the way, but your shoulders are turned away from the target. That's a big one. Making sure that you are accelerating from slow to fast from the beginning of the throw to the end. That's a big one. If you are looking to get a little bit more distance and you want to see videos about it, Danny Lindahl, who is coming to work here pretty soon, I guess a little over a month from now, he does instructional videos about driving form all the time, and he understands the intricacies of the disc golf driving form really, really well. So I would check that out if I were you.
Yes, definitely want to tune into Dynamic Disc YouTube channel. And I know I always say that, but just get subscribed because we have quite a bit of plans for the YouTube channel this year. And that will include, of course, Danny pumping out some good content on the YouTube channel. And Anthony's going to pump out some tournament coverage and some other cool stuff. So make sure you are ready to be notified of all that.
Danny will teach you how to throw 450 feet. I'll show other people doing it.
I've videoed somebody throwing 450 feet.
All right, next one comes from Brian. Brian. Oh, there we go.
Hey, Bobby, Eric, and Robert. I had a quick question for you guys. Concerning the recent acquisition of West Side Discs by Dynamic Discs and Latitude 64, can we expect to see more Origio discs in the States? I know a lot of people would be super excited about Origio shields, obviously the harps that you guys had for a while, pretty much all of the discs, I'm sure. People really seem to love that baseline plastic. If you don't know, try to find out. And if you do know, hopefully it's a yes, and we look forward to seeing it. Thanks a lot, guys. See ya.
So if you're not sure what he's talking about is, of course, we have the three brands, Dynamic Disc, West Side Disc, Latitude 64. Just recently, what was it, 4 months ago, 5 months ago?
Sounds about right.
The owner, CEO of Yanni, decided to sell the company and move on to some other things. And Latitude and Dynamic Discs jointly purchased West Side Discs. Will you specifically see more Origio, which is the baseline plastic, in the West Side molds? Yeah. And the reason I hesitate is because it's not like all of a sudden you're going to see every mold come in Origio.
Whoa.
So, but that is one of the things is things that were offered in other countries overseas and probably more the European countries that people wanted in the States. Yes, that is going to start happening. Does that mean that your super favorite mold that you've wanted in this particular plastic will happen? I don't know. There's so many different, variations of what people want. And the other thing is you got to know that this happened 4 or 5 months ago. It's not like we're going to flip a switch and all of a sudden things are going to start happening that weren't happening before. This is going to be a process. This is going to take time to start. You're going to start seeing more West Side Discs media put out. You're going to start seeing more offerings from West Side Discs, but then we also have to maintain Dynamic Discs. We also have to maintain Latitude 64. So yes, all in due time, you're going to start seeing a little bit more from West Side, and that will of course include more of your favorite molds in different plastics.
Nice. Fantastic answer.
Does that make sense?
Gold star.
All right. Next one comes from
promotion.
Next one comes from
I can't give those, but
Grant from New Zealand.
What's up, Grant?
Kia ora, this is Grant from New Zealand calling. A big hello to Cool Daddy Slick Breeze, E-Mac, and Robert How's the Hair McCall. 2 questions.
You got a name.
One is, what would be the best plastic for putting in the rain? I just had 4 easy chain outs in a round today. Not so happy about that. And my second question
let's do the first one. So what is a good plastic for the rainy weather?
Well,
do you want to say Prime or do you want me to?
You can go ahead.
Okay, it's Prime.
Yeah.
Tell us why.
Because it's the best. I don't know. But it has, to me, it has a tackier feel than like Classic Hard. The Classic Hard I like better for throwing because I feel like it's a little bit slicker and a little bit stiffer. But the Prime, it just, I don't know, it has a better tackiness to it. And when it's wet, I think that stands out a lot more than when it's not.
I think Prime really does have nice grip in the rain for sure. And I putt with classic hard Wardens. Now I don't switch for the rain. I just dry them off, and
that's one way to do it.
Yes. But I would say too, if you are committed to using not prime but one of the classic blends, then classic blend is a really good choice. It's not going to be as firm as classic hard or even as prime, but it doesn't have a ton of give to it like classic soft.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit easier for me to grip. I use those for throwing. I use harder putters for putting, but when it is rainy, you can get a nice grip on blend and definitely prime plastic.
And so the prime, and just kind of a connection to the question prior, Origio is that same plastic.
Yeah,
prime,
that's Westside's version of prime.
Prime is to Origio as Origio is to
retro.
Yep. So all the same.
And retro is to prime.
And
it's just a big happy
if
triangle.
you just that's right.
You know what I find interesting is that we had the baseline plastic, which is the classic, and the BT medium, and the what is it in latitude?
It's zero.
And that was kind of our baseline plastic, and then we came out with the prime and the Origio and the retro, so that we had a something that was I don't want to say cheaper, more cost effective, so that we could put it in certain stores and people had more cost effective pricing on disc. But it's actually become a plastic that people really, really like. And
I honestly like
want.
it better.
Yeah.
It's just, it feels so good.
Yeah.
It's just so grippy.
So I just thought that was interesting.
If I wasn't in a long-term committed relationship with classic hard first run Wardens, I'd be prime Wardens and I would be hanging out.
Respect your commitment.
That's right. I'm a long-term commitment kind of guy. My wife appreciates that
Shay,
about
if you're listening,
that's right.
You are his classic hard.
That's right. That's right. I am committed to you.
She is the first run warden of
that's right, of wives.
She's the original warden.
When I posted about those tournaments this weekend, I said, Shay, you're the real MVP. And I mean that. She's a winner, dude.
All right, next one comes from John.
Hey guys, this is John from Colorado. I was in Albuquerque a couple of months ago and I played a very peculiar course. It's called Brent Baca, and apparently this area doesn't have a lot of trees. There's about maybe one tree per 4 or 5 holes. So they used man-made objects for the most part to design their holes. They also designed a lot of holes around arroyos, which are apparently giant, terrifying ditches. My question is, how do you guys feel about man-made objects in moments of need in terms of course design? I had a great time and I thought it was a beautiful course, and it was very challenging, but I know a lot of people aren't a big fan of man-made objects. Just curious to know, as course designer Eric, and then just disc golfer and videographers, just how you guys feel about that. Thank you very much.
Well, of course, Eric's not here to speak on this, but I would imagine he would have the same sentiment, is that as long as they are used effectively and not gimmicky. So yeah, I'm not gonna fault a park or a course to use man-made things to try to add some challenges to their course if you're in an area that doesn't have many trees.
One tree per 4 or 5 holes. I mean, that definitely qualifies.
Yeah. So as long as it's creating, I don't even know how to put it, but as long as it's not creating absurd mandos and absurd fairways and things like that, I think you do it with what you got.
Yeah, I think the goal of using man-made obstacles is to, as much as possible, replicate actual trees and things like that. You definitely don't want it to feel like a miniature golf course where there's a clown's mouth that you have to get into and a windmill and things like that. Some of the man-made obstacles we've seen put into courses kind of give it that sort of feel where it's more luck than it is skill to navigate around those. So yeah, as much as possible, if you are going to use those, make them replicate where it would be nice to have, a big tree in this place so that you have to shape a shot, or a mando here so that they're like, you can have safety for a walking path, or just directs the hole a little bit better. But yeah, you're not trying to make it, I don't know, amusement park-ish.
Yeah. All right, we'll go one more question and then we'll call it an episode. This one's from John. I don't know if it's from the same John. We'll see.
We'll find out.
Hey guys, this is John from Colorado again.
It's the same John.
It is.
I noticed that when you guys came out with your overmold discs, that the plastic choices seem kind of backwards to me. It always seemed to me like the Lucid plastic is much more durable, yet on the G Force plastic, I noticed that the Fusion is on the outside. What was the decision going into that? Also, do you guys plan on possibly coming out with some different plastic combinations? I would love to see perhaps a premium plastic inner putter or inner disc, and then like a putter plastic outer. I don't quite know if you guys have anything in the works for that, but be very interested. Thank you very much, and have a good day.
So the overmolds are for Latitude 64, and without knowing or giving away the intricacies, the process isn't as straightforward as one would think. I know that they are, that you've seen posted on Latitude 64's Facebook page that, it's a process they're learning. Mm-hmm. It isn't something that you just flip a switch and now all of a sudden you have the overmold process. They had to learn how to make it work. You have to learn how to make plastic do what you want it to do when it may not want to do it.
Right. And there's a certain way, like, some of the other companies that do this, they have rivets on there. Right. Or they have a very distinct parting line. And ours is relatively seamless in transition from one mold to the other. But yeah, it's a learning process. It's certainly not perfected.
And so, when to his point where he feels like it's backward because he thinks the Lucid should be on the outside and more the Fusion plastic, which of course in Latitude is the gold line and the Opto. Right. Actually, it's the opposite of what you're thinking because they're both premium plastic. But in fact, my understanding is the Fusion plastic is actually a little more durable than the Lucid. Now, by what percentage or by what scale, I don't know, but this is what I've heard, that actually the Fusion or the gold line is actually more durable than your Opto or Lucid.
Yeah.
But they're both premium plastic. They're both the higher priced, higher
for sure
grade plastic.
And when it comes to future molds of those and putting, like a zero medium on the outside so that it would catch the chains a little bit more, I don't know what they're doing with that. I don't know. Do you think that's something people would buy?
I would.
Okay.
I would love to try that because I used to putt with soft putters because they just catch better.
Grab, yeah.
It's just a fact, but they feel weird in my hand.
But they feel weird.
So something like that, if it had like a prime flight plate and a medium rim.
Oh my gosh, you're in business.
About that.
Yeah.
Take
you're about
all my money. Yeah.
I haven't heard if they're trying that, but I'm sure they're very similar to what we are. It's just they're always working on something. I'm sure maybe they've already tried it and it didn't work, or maybe they're thinking about trying it and stuff like that. And I do know that they have two more overmolds coming out, or they like to call them 2K.
They just posted a video about the Fuji.
Yeah, Fuji
kind of
and
slightly overstable mid.
Saxon, I think, is the other.
Okay.
Yes.
So good stuff there.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So that's all the time we have for this particular episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you check out skipace.com and join the DGAM Fantasy Disc Golf League. We're going to kick it off with the Las Vegas Challenge event. So get your picks in so you can get in and be eligible for giveaways that we do. Disc golf experience at Arrowhead Stadium. Registration starts noon, February 14th. Get in there so you can be part of the event for June 16th. United States Amateur Championship, 235 events. Let's get it to 296 events.
Yeah.
That's kind of I kind of let that out the bag, didn't I? Should I have said that? I guess it doesn't matter. That's kind of a goal we have in our head. We want to get to
we'd love to get there.
We want to get all the states as much as possible. So good stuff there, guys. One last thing. Disc Golf Answer Man t-shirts. If you're watching the video, you'll see that McCall is wearing his Disc Golf Answer Man. He didn't get the steel blue. We wanted to see your steel blue.
I have all three of them.
Oh, that's right. You said you had all three. You just wore the black leather today.
Like I'm going to go get one of something. What a joke.
After winning $700 over the weekend.
I just went and dropped a lot of money on these t-shirts. Thought it was important. Yeah. Don't mind me. I just have expendable income now.
But Disc Golf Answer Man t-shirts, it's a little different from other shows because we're not selling this product to make sure that we have a show, but it is a way to kind of show.
Yeah, just show your support.
Show your support for the show. Let people know you listen to the show. And some people, I'm sure, you just want to be a walking billboard. Yes, I want you to be a walking billboard, but you're going to have a nice, comfortable shirt to do it. Great. I like it. When I start traveling, the first thing is going to be in Arizona. I'm going to see if I can have some goodies on me that I can give to people if they have their Disc Golf Answer Man t-shirt on. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I had several people this weekend. I mean, just out of the blue, never met them before. Hey, man, really love the podcast. Keep doing the thing. So
did they say Eric and and Bobby were great.
Yeah, they said those other two guys are good. You're average at best.
Yeah, you're average.
And I said, that's what everyone tells me about everything.
But I just won.
Yeah, so in your face.
So, is that a guarantee or not guaranteed? But if you buy the shirt, you'll definitely win.
If you buy the shirt, you will improve at disc golf. I don't know if you'll win, but you'll improve.
You'll improve somehow.
It's scientifically proven. Don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
We tested it in our labs.
It's facts.
Yeah.
This dynamicdisc.com, go to the store section and look for the Disc Golf Answer Man section, because we also have some discs that are out there that are Disc Golf Answer Man, and we need to get rid of those so we can get some new molds coming out right now. So if you're in the market for a Gladiator, a Mercy, a Queen, Destiny, a Ballista, get out there and get your Disc Golf Answer Man stamped disc. And if you want us to sign it, we'd be happy to sign it.
Yeah.
We've actually been signing some T-shirts, which that was kind of
honestly
interesting.
quite a few T-shirts.
Yeah, which I think is really cool. Hopefully you still wear the T-shirt even if you get it signed.
Yeah.
So.
And forgive us, it's kind of difficult to sign T-shirts.
Yeah, if they don't exactly look like our autograph, you have to forgive us, because it's not easy signing those T-shirts. Yeah. So anyway, pick up those T-shirts. It would mean a lot to all three of us. I'm sure it means a little bit to Anthony.
I mean, sometimes.
Okay, so
like once every couple of months, whenever I'm on here, it means something.
Yeah, so,
right.
But it will mean a lot to us if you were to pick up a Disc Golf Answer Man T-shirt. And the more we get that stuff out there, the more different things we can do and have fun with it. So I'm excited about that. All right, thanks, guys. See you next week. Bye. Bye. Hey guys, thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you do me a huge favor, head out to iTunes or even on Stitcher and go rate and review our show. It would really help us out. Thank you so much.